Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the best Reddit answers being read to you. Enjoy! What did your parents teach you that you would never teach your children? I would never compare my kids to other kids. Not only did it make me feel poopy back then, it's made me unnecessarily competitive now, and I seem to compare every little thing of mine with other people's. God, I feel this so hard. Growing up, I wished I had a sibling to hang out with, but given how frequently I was compared to my classmates or the kids of random coworkers, I realize now that being an only child was the best thing that could have happened. As an only child, I was still compared to my mother's friends' kids that I hung out with a lot. The competitive spirit in me probably stems from that when I think about it. How to rewind the VHS. Remember the first time you watched a DVD and tried to rewind it afterwards? That was a trip to learn that you don't have to rewind DVDs. Yep, just flip them over and watch it in reverse. Happy Cake Day. That parents don't have to apologize if they are wrong because they are parents. I grew up in a big family, and many times one sibling would be blamed for another sibling's action, both by parents or other siblings. If I yelled at sibling A for something sibling B did, I would be made to apologize to sibling A. If my mom yelled at me for something sibling A did, after everything was sorted, I'd ask, "Are you going to apologize to me now?" And she would said, "I don't have to, I'm the adult. I have kids of my own now, and if I do something wrong, I apologize." I'm so lucky that my parents have actually been really good about this. My whole life they realize when they have messed up, and they will apologize. Never allowing me to tell my side of the story. When I was getting in trouble, most of the time it was my fault or something I could have done about it. But there were times that there was an honest explanation that would have explained the situation, and it was always talking back. Just give me a freaking second. God, so much this. I swore never to do this to my children. As a kid, I remember vividly sitting there so freaking confused because my parents just made up a completely bull-poop story about what happened based on the small amount of it they witnessed instead of letting me explain what happened. I spent 2 weeks grounded one time because I broke a car window with my football, when I didn't even go outside that day, when it was actually broken when it was hit by a parking car. I couldn't understand why my parents wouldn't let me explain. It's so effing weird and is a complete abuse of power to just arbitrarily decide right and wrong like that. Never say a word if someone hurts you. Never object, never protest, and if you cry, that is your weakness coming through. Don't cry. If you speak out when you are attacked, you will be attacked twice as hard. Silence is the only way through to safety. Say nothing. No matter what. This advice really effed me over. Where the frick did you grow up? Sounds like some shady poop there, bud. That may be the worst advice I have ever heard. My parents taught me not to share my feelings. It has taken me a long time to be able to do this. I don't want my kids hiding their feelings. There's some really important lessons I had to learn as an adult about expressing feelings, all because of how my parents treated my feelings. I am not repeating that poop. My kids will know all feelings are valid and that feelings are meant to be spoken about without judgment. If you don't feel that's possible, you should be sure to have a safe person to talk to about it. To be afraid of them. There's a post that keeps circulating that explains how I feel perfectly. It goes something like, "I don't want my kids to mess up and feel like they have to hide it from me. I want them to mess up and come to me asking what they should do. Mistakes are a part of life. My mom goes berserk when I make a small mistake like spilling a drink, and I don't want my kids to be afraid of being human." Exactly. When I have kids and they make a mistake, I don't want the first thing they think to be poop. "My dad's gonna kill me." I want them to think poop. I have to call my dad. There's no reason to be stressed. Everyone gets stressed, whether it's something big and life-changing or small and inconvenient. Growing up, my sister and I always heard you shouldn't be stressed about this. This isn't a big thing to stress over and stuff like that. Instead of being taught to manage our stress, we've learned to hide it and bottle it up so our parents wouldn't think we're dramatic or something. Instead of teaching kids to not be stressed, I'd teach them how to manage stress in healthy ways so they can eliminate it or be able to navigate through it easily. That crying to them will make things worse, not better. My parents still tell me that only weak people cry. Not a huge crier, but it does mess up your ability to process emotions. This was what my father used to say. "We're not even talking anymore." Same. My parents keep telling me crying is bad and unhealthy. It has greatly affected my emotional control in a negative way. My parents also told only the weak cry. Guilt trips. All damn guilt trips. Got one today from my mother actually. I hate my mom for trying to guilt trip me so much. She does it so much that I can tell when she is about to, so I can point it out, which makes her guilt trip me on accusing her of guilt tripping me. It's a vicious cycle. To never question authority / your elders. That's the worst one for me. If a person isn't curious and doesn't think by themselves about reality, they are only a shell of a human and will never fully live their own life. And it's a tough thing to learn later in life. In my experience, it's often tied to very oppressive religious upbringings. Clean your plate. As a registered dietitian, I can say that this is hands down the worst thing you can do to your kids' eating habits. It destroys their internal hunger and satiety case later in life. Agreed. I think it comes from the Depression era when there wasn't enough food to go around and food was hard to get because everyone was so poor. Back then we didn't have the nutrition programs to give food to children of poor families that we have now. So it was either eat what was given to you or don't eat at all. There was no choice. You still shouldn't say clean your plate. Even my parents agree on this one. Children have different appetite levels and it may not be the same for all children and it may not be consistent. One day they may be more hungry than the next and want more food, the next day maybe less. Also, you shouldn't make them eat things they don't like, it's not good for them. You can encourage them to try different foods, but if they try it and do not like it, then it should not be forced. One of my family members did this to their kid and the end result was the child gagging and choking on food because they did not like peas, but the parents thought they should be forced to eat them. This isn't a very nice thing to do just because a child doesn't like a food. You can't force children to eat what they don't like. Please don't do this. That anxiety and depression are not real health problems. Oh yeah, I've dealt with that one too. Always blaming my sadness on stupid things like my phone. Why do you have an attitude? Yes, me too. When I was in a bad mood, it was always because of those damn video games. Like, are you serious? That my emotions are their fault. Growing up, my mom would get frustrated with me and then lash out. She would then say something like, I yelled because you're making me so angry. No, was just a kid doing kid crap. You yelled because you're not in control of your emotions. I've caught my mom doing this poop with my daughter and I call her out on it. You can't put that crap on a kid. I let my daughter know that what she did may have been unkind, or need correcting, but she is not responsible for the emotions of the adults around her. My mom did that kind of thing too. She would be a complete harlot because something was going on with her. Or if we did something when she was in that mood, that wouldn't have pissed her off another time, she would be a witch. It was so confusing and scary as a kid. It didn't make any ducking sense. Once I grew up and realized she did this, I saw the same patterns with myself. I'm sorry you went through that. The whole believe this because I say so hoax. Same, and now I'm stuck with kids who won't stop asking goddamn questions until I lose it. Proud and annoyed. Lol, I guess it's good for them to be curious. A curious child turns out to be a creative man or woman, and a critical thinking person. Good job. This comment makes me want to have kids to raise this way, even though I decided not to have any. That you have to give granny / grandpa / uncle pervert a kiss goodbye. No you freaking don't. It's your body, you get to decide who you hug, kiss, etc. You're not allowed to be rude, so you have to say hello / goodbye, but you don't have to hug or kiss anyone you don't want to. Not even granny, not even if she really wants a kiss, and she'll be disappointed if you don't kiss her. Used to hate that crap, didn't mind hugs, but not the kisses. Some people do some weird butt kisses. No disrespect to my granddad, but he used to do multiple quick kisses on my neck. I knew them as vampire kisses, although he didn't bite, thankfully. What would have been your answer or question? Leave it in the comments below. Slap that like and subscribe button for more, and check out the link in the video description for even more answers. Peace out, and catch you in the next video.